David.
Hi, Marshall. How old are you, Marshall?
45.
Why are you calling?
David, I came out of the closet 5 years ago, but it didn't turn out the way I thought it would. I seem to be stuck. I'm obsessed with young boys, and I don't mean boys, I mean teenagers.
Tell me what that means exactly.
17, 18, 19.
But where does that obsession take you?
It takes me to areas of this community where I patronize hustlers.
And that's what you're interested in?
Well, that seems to be what I'm doing. What I'm interested in is having a loving, caring relationship with a peer, someone I can talk with, not someone I can just buy sex from.
Okay. When did you first realize that you were gay? When did you first suspect, I should say?
Well, it was a process, but during my third marriage, I got sober for a while and seemed to have cross-addicted to... Well, during that period that I was sober, at the end of that marriage, I started patronizing in a kind of obsessive way these young men on the boulevard.
Besides being dangerous in every way you can think of...
Yes.
There's something... So it was 5 years ago, you were 40 years old, and you say you knew at that time that you were gay.
Yes, and I got sober, and, rigorous honesty is a part of it, and so I had to get honest.
Okay, but my guess is that you had fears about this, probably that were much older than that realization.
Oh, yeah.
Go back to the fears. How old were you when you started to have the fears?
Well, I was raised in the South, and when I was 13 or 14, I had a relationship with my brother's friend, and...
How old was he?
He was 13 or 14.
Uh-huh.
And
how often did you think about that relationship over the years?
Well, it was my first sexual experience, and it was... You mean, how much do I think about it now?
How much did you over the years?
It came back to me often.
And when it came back, the feeling you had?
Was that it was exciting. It was a fantasy, a masturbatory fantasy.
Okay, so in other words, that's where you've been your whole life.
Yeah, yeah.
And what you do when you pursue these young boys is you try to revisit the original scene of the crime, so to speak.
So to speak.
The wish was perhaps that you could have started your life as a gay person without the dishonesty, and maybe have had a relationship and the kind of love that you particularly wanted earlier in life instead of being failure in the straight life.
Yeah.
So what this obsession is, it may in fact be an obsession about death and dying.
Yeah, about getting old, because being 45 and being gay is not fashionable.
So the wish is to have been the age of the people that you were with, and they confirm youthfulness on you.
Yeah.
Does that interpretation ring true in terms of what you transact emotionally with these young men?
Yes.
What goes on between you emotionally?
Well, after sex, I just become some sort of father surrogate. We talk about the things that I talk with my young friends who are teenagers who are straight. It's not a relationship. It doesn't feel like the way I talk to my adult friends.
And in your sexual activity with these young hustlers,
mm-hmm.
do you repeat the fantasy that you kept all those years?
It depends on the individual and how much.
But is that the most satisfying or most exciting of the interchanges?
Yeah. I mean, I'm only interested in safe sex, and ironically, when I was 13, we had safe sex, and that's what I recreate. I don't go beyond that.
So you really do recreate the past.
Yeah.
So what you really must be dealing with, let's now talk about real things, okay?
Mm-hmm.
Come here. I want to talk about this because this is important. Real things.
Yeah.
You have a yearning, a deep yearning and loneliness that is your guiding emotion all the time. It's not just an obsession. It's a sense of isolation. It's a sense that there's never going to be anyone out there for you.
I do feel that.
Speak up.
I do feel that way.
Yeah. And that must be very hard to live with.
Yeah, I try to feel a part of, but I often feel less than.
Okay. When you're pursuing, when you get in the car and you drive up and down the boulevard, right?
I know, it's my, that's the high.
Well, the high is the hope. But before you do that, what is the obsession? Before you get in the car and actually go chicken hawking, I believe they call it.
That's what they call it.
What are you doing?
I'm usually just. It happens all the time, David.
But before you do it, what's the feeling that prompts you into action? The last little feeling that says, "Oh, I'm going." Just.
This is all I get.
Say again?
That this is all I get. That this is, that it's like when you're obsessed and you say, oh, what difference does it make? At least this will make me happy. It's giving in to the desperation over your loneliness. Yeah.
Okay. That's what the problem is. Do you have any friends your own age, pal?
Sure.
Why not try to accept your own mortality and your own age a little, and try to function a little better with the people who are your own age? I think you'd feel a lot more normal, a lot less desperate, but sad, because you have to mourn the fact that you're 45.
Yeah.
Sorry.
Thanks.
Does this help?
It does, David. Thanks.
Okay. Take care, Marshall.
Bye.
Don't ever be put off by the quality of the symptom. Someone can call up and have an aberration or a strange obsession or an unusual practice. Always listen to the underlying feeling, the pain, the desperation, because that's what makes us all kin. We all share those same feelings, but we resolve our problems and answer those questions in our own way, and that's our uniqueness. And to do it in a way that's damaging to ourselves is to take something out of your life and to lose a sense of self-respect. You have to have self-esteem. You cannot do things that undermine yourself. We'll be right back.